This is a skill matchup for both AP and AD Udyr, but for AP Udyr it is especially boring because all you do is perma awaken your Phoenix on him until he dies. You don't really want to teamfight against Ornn because he's a huge threat. Even if you play AP Udyr, he'll usually just outvalue you. And you can take something like Liandry with Bloodletter's Curse. If you're really daring, you can go for something like full AP Udyr where you take like a Malignance and Pen Boots and a Liandry still, but you just go in teamfights and awaken that Phoenix and one-shot everyone with it, but that's riskier. In this case, I decided to go for AD Udyr, and I misplayed this game quite significantly, but I still wanted to showcase it because games like these can happen. I died way too many times when I shouldn't have. What you can do as AD Udyr is completely ignore the Ornn and just hit the tower. You can take an early Tiamat so you have some wave clear, and then after that you go into a Hull Breaker and you perma hit the tower, and he will not be able to clear any cannon wave unless he uses his ultimate for it, and even then he still might not be able to fully clear it. In lane you have to watch out for his triple brittle combo, but you can survive it most of the time if you have your awakened W. Another thing you can do is put something like 3 or 4 points into your R and bait him into thinking that you're going AP Udyr, and then he might purchase magic resist and then you swap to AD Udyr, and then that magic resist is gonna be mostly wasted. It will still be good against you, but not to the degree that armor would be good against you. He is probably going to do the combo of QW into auto and then he's gonna E away, and then he's gonna do that over and over again until you're in kill range, but you can constantly use your W to stay out of his lethal range, and then you will eventually get to your large spikes. This is why you can also go cashback if you want to instead of approach velocity. By taking cashback you will be able to purchase your items even quicker, and if you really want that you can take phase rush instead of conqueror or even fleet footwork, and that way you scale even better later on and you perma side lane better, especially with that phase rush.
An enemy has been slain.
This is a very annoying matchup for both AP and AD Udyr. This game I decided to go for AP Udyr. Normally what I do as AP Udyr is go for Phase Rush and rush Faded Ashes. And then what I end up doing is awakening my R on the wave and going to proxy, because you basically never want to play against the Varus since he can one-shot you. If he hits you with a full combo, you're just dead basically. This game I didn't do that, and instead I went for a different strategy. I decided to take Grasp of the Undying in my runes and try to force him to go out of mana. And I am doing this by maxing my W and getting a lot of resists. The first item Varus will usually go for is Dusk and Dawn, but sometimes you might see a Nashor's Tooth, Blade of the Ruin King, or Experimental Hexplate. Unless he goes Blade of the Ruin King, it's still good to buy magic resist, and this is because of his W. His W will deal a huge amount of magic damage. If he runs Blade of the Ruin King, then yes, you can rush a Thornmail or a Frozen Heart. But even if he goes for Experimental Hexplate, I still encourage you to go Visage first and then buy Plated Steel Caps into Frozen Heart. His E-Zone also gives him heal reduction, so you have to walk out of it if you want to use your W to heal most of the time. But if he has his ultimate on you, then you can't walk out, which sucks. All you want to do in the entire laning phase is awaken your W until he eventually goes out of mana. And once he goes out of mana, then he can't threaten you anymore. This is also why I go Tear of the Goddess, to make sure that I don't run out of mana before he does. And never ever underestimate his damage. It is vile how much damage this champion does. With AP Udyr in team fights later on into the game, what you can do is awaken your R and slow people down, but you won't do as much damage because you won't have damage items until maybe your third item. So don't expect your awaken R to melt people in team fights unless you are going to buy AP items. And if you go for Phase Rush, then you can kind of do that because you have that Phase Rush to escape and you can burn the wave quicker. And as I said previously, your game plan is to perma proxy, so you're not gonna lane him so you don't take any damage from him. That's the ideal scenario.
Waters.
This game I decided to go for AP Udyr into Gnar and not AD Udyr. What you should do as AP Udyr is basically perma awaken your R on him and then run away. And what Gnar can do to get out of your awakened R is use his hop. But if you force him to burn his hop before you awaken your R, he's gonna be stuck in it taking the damage. What I like to do into Gnar most of the time is get a Liandry, but you don't necessarily have to rush it. Tear of the Goddess is also pretty good, and you can take an early Bramble Vest and plated steel caps and then go for Liandry. And that way he won't really be able to deal a bunch of damage to you. His only real damaging method will be his W. And this is because his mini Gnar W deals percent health magic damage. And that will actually add up if you're not careful. But everything else deals physical damage. And he also has some pretty good chase power. But if you manage to slow him down with your awakened R and proc your phase rush, you should always be able to run away unless he has Ghost. AP Udyr generally has an easier time into Gnar, and this is because you can usually itemize more defensively. As I said, you can get that early Bramble Vest into plated steel caps, whereas with AD Udyr you might be able to get just the plated steel caps. And then as AP Udyr you're gonna have a larger W shield because you might get more ability power. On top of the fact that you might even max your W second as AP Udyr, though not always. There's really not that much to go over in the laning phase, aside from the fact that you're gonna awaken your W to sustain, and you're gonna try to run him down whenever you tag him with your R slow due to approach velocity, and if you get your phase rush you're usually gonna be able to stick to him. And another really important thing is that he's much tankier in his Mega Gnar form, and this is especially noticeable for AP Udyr unless you go full AP Udyr. You can go into teamfights or you can side lane into Gnar as AP Udyr. In teamfights you can awaken your R on a bunch of people and slow down their movement and deal a lot of damage. And on the side lane you can perma awaken your R on him until he eventually dies, and he can't really do a whole lot about it. The only real thing he can do, much like in the laning phase, is try to hop away whenever he sees that zone, but that's it.
Killing spree.
You cannot outrun me.
Unstoppable. has destroyed a turret.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
Retreat is not failure. We heal and we try again.